Voice Media.
What's good, y'all? Raymond Acosta back with another podcast. What's good podcast? Thank you for joining us today. This may not be just a feature. This is actually it would constitute as a podcast because I have some convo that I had right before we press play here or press record with this gentleman. I think he's to my right. And we were kind of just going back a little back and forth. I guess we came out of the same hood. We've never met before. This is like actually the first time. I'm going to let him introduce himself because I do want to jump into the stuff that we want to end up talking about. Go ahead, Peter. Let him know who you are, bro.
Hey, what up? I'm Peter. I am owner, operator, designer, creative, mastermind, nerd, Neck of the Hood Clothing or Noth. Yeah,
cool. So I first heard of Peter, or actually started seeing his designs. He was a participant of the pop that Cold Rice Media actually had was a co-sponsor of with Creative Soul and Popcorn LA. I heard that was a success.
Yeah, it was fun.
And it was definitely brought together. I wasn't able to attend. I'm over here in Fort Worth, but I was sitting there, man. When I saw people posting on Instagram and what you guys were doing down there, I rarely get FOMO. But then I started looking and I was like, man, the hood is having fun right now.
It was fun. It really was a good vibe the whole night. Man, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I actually picked one up from you. I said, you see, I had to hang it up. It's actually my favorite shirt. So he had the bread shirt, and it had. I would bring it up here, but I got the headphones on.
Yeah,
thing like that. But I'll definitely put it on. But it immediately struck me, and I was like, man, I hope this thing is the way it looked on your IG. I was like, I hope this thing actually comes through nice as far as the material and everything. And bro, it's almost came too nice, especially here with Texas. I was like, I don't know if I can wear this during the summer.
It's heavy,
some high quality stuff.
It's solid.
It came through really nice. I think you guys can't keep it in stock, but it's definitely, I mean, I've already got mine here. So yeah, definitely. So Neck of the Hood Clothing. Let's dig into you. Let's dig into you at first, because you reached out to me. It's like, yo, let's get on the pod. Let's talk about it just a little bit here, right?
Yeah.
Let's dig into you. We never crossed paths, but you're about the same age as me, but you're on the other side. I mean, I'm more of the south side in Seattle. You were in the west side, right? Tell me about your neck of the hood.
So I grew up in White Center, right off of 4th Ave. So, growing up, I don't know, it was regular. In hindsight, you look back and you understand certain things and the way they were. To me, I didn't even understand that I was growing up in the hood. Like, I didn't understand it because what you did, you ran around with your friends, you were on your bike, you were doing what you did. Like, it's weird. I talk about that with some of the people that I grew up with, and it just is what it is, bro. It helped shape me. It's a beautiful thing. Like, some people want to look at it negatively, and I don't really. Of course there's negative, but there's negative where you find negative. That's true in anything in life. So I try to just respect what it was and appreciate what I got from it.
100% agree with that, where it shaped you, because there's always that thought. It's like, if you think back, be like, yo, would you change a few things? But it's like, that's what it was back then. That was, the music. The music back then, it was basically what gassed everybody up.
Yep.
Music, the fashion.
Yeah.
So that definitely translates over to what your brand is right now, right?
Big time. I pull a lot of that from my history, even to what is built up to what's going on in like sneaker culture, car culture, street culture, even food, family, like all of those things. That's what ties it all together. That's what Noth is to me. All of these things that I've come from or been part of, different cultures, and having family members that don't look like me, but I've known them since I was. So like all of this stuff ties Noth together, and that's what Noth really is about. My neck of the hood is your neck of the hood. They may be different, but they mean the same. You know what I'm saying? Those foundational pieces of who we are. And that ties into so many things. Like you said, like with fashion. You remember the big Jinko jeans we used to wear? Bro, and the flannels?
Oh, yeah.
and the
Jinko jeans,
Pumas,
the Oakleys. Yeah,
shell
definitely.
tops, Fila, like, bro. I mean, yep.
How did you come to the point to where it's like, you know what? I think I've got enough to where I can start putting clothing together for the homies to mess with, or even for you to just start, rocking around town.
Honestly, so this is something I wanted to do for a long time. I've always drawn. So I'm always locked in that way artistically when it comes to whatever. But I've always like, oh, it would be cool to make a shirt, right? And then it kind of just slowly, I think when I was in college, we had to do something. So I got a shirt printed to match my Grape 5s that I could set up for my portfolio day. So I did that. And then just little by little, me and the homies, we got a heat press and started an oversized printer and started doing vinyl. The neighbor hooked me up with the silk screen setup. He was like, "Pare, go here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I never used it, but I had it in my garage and I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, you know what? I learned I don't want to print. I want to design. I want to feel fabrics. I want to get into that part of it. And it just really started with just t-shirts and doing artwork on t-shirts. And then, oh, I'm going to match these shoes. And then I'm going to do this. Oh, this fits with this season. And I like this. And then I'll pull certain things that are just connected to me that, you know what I mean? Or somebody will be like, hey, this is this. And then we'll start brainstorming and things pop up. It's funny how it happens when you let it go natural and you don't try to just, oh, this is it. Nah, Noth is, like I said, at its foundation is about everybody in our own unique way. So I want it to be organic that way.
Were you selling them back then too, or were you just be like, yo, I'm gonna just press some stuff out for the homies to wear and we can just rep? Because a lot of kids, I remember back then when we were growing up, they had those you can go to special tees and you can get the letters and just put whatever on. And you would just do it for yourself. So was that for you guys, or were you guys just or were you guys selling out the trunk?
No. We would just do, like, I would make a shirt, we'd press it up and we'd wear it. I had one friend, he had some pixel art stuff he did, and and it just kind of like that. I did a couple orders for people, small scale stuff, but it was really just for fun. I never thought that it would be where I'm at, but I never not thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, just.
I mean, you already had that drive, when you were younger, and then you were like, you know what, I could do this. I mean, it takes, and that I ask everybody that how did you come to where, you know what, I can do all this? Little stair step in type of a thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I found this spot in Portland. They ran a little print on demand type deal, and so I kind of did that, and then COVID kicked off, and I had some more time. I was doing it, and then I started to think about, well, how do you scale this? How do you present, or how do you get quality stuff? Because anybody can go get a Gildan t-shirt and put some graphics on it and call it their brand. They can, and that's cool.
True. I can do that too. Yeah, you're right.
That's not wrong. Because if that's where you want it, then that's what it should be. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to tell, but I knew I needed more. I knew for what I saw, my vision and how I felt about Noth and what I wanted it to be for the people, I needed more. So I started looking into fabrics more, right?
Well, let me cut you off. Let me cut you off real quick there, because it is something to where I've asked this to several of my friends that are like, man, it's like you guys are putting product out there. Some of them are actually putting them for more quantity, and then for you, and I'm a witness to that, definitely quality in what you're putting out there with Sheen or whatever, Sheen or and Temu and all that stuff. And there's basically at full scale right now, just throwing so much money at it. It's out there. And what I had asked before, and I'm asking the same thing, it's like you got these two big companies and all these other companies that are following up. I think they're overseas. How do you still manage to stay in this particular market, in this business market, to where you're competing with somebody that can put together an outfit or two versus one of your pieces, because it's so priced low, right?
I I don't even dance that dance. That's not my dance. That's not my party. I'm not invited to that party. I think, and I believe in my heart, if I provide people with quality and they feel good wearing the pieces they bought, even if it's just one, if they feel good and it's done, I've done my job. I'm good with that. I really am.
How would you measure success in this path of just the next phase, I guess, of North? Because you're really putting a lot out there. How would you measure success in that?
So for my next step, I don't believe that there's ever a stop. I don't see a finish line. I got that out of my head a long time ago, because I think it used to hinder me a lot when I would approach things like there's finish line. So I don't know if there's a finish line. I would like to open a brick and mortar. I don't know what that looks like right now, but I think a constant presence is important for a brand like mine and for what I do. I think getting it out into more states, especially just flood the West Coast and then kind of go from there. But freedom. I think overall success is freedom to me, to be able to live the life that I want with my family, my friends, and the people, and to be able to help communities and do the things with my time to help and do those things. That's what success means to me overall, regardless of the money and all of this other stuff. It's great. It's great. Money provides freedom, and that's what I'm looking for. It's just freedom to be able to live my life, to be the best human I can be.
Okay, it's interesting when I was listening to you that you had mentioned, basically attacking this to where it's beyond, just the Washington State period, and then actually going outside the states. I've had fortunate run-ins with at least a couple of, and I'm not going to name drop or anything, but there are a couple well-off celebs, or really higher profile cats that have been in their industry, and and they're from Seattle, right? And I've asked them, it's like, yo man, there's this one guy, I was like, why were you not the one that put other cats on? Because you did have that platform. Why don't you put Seattle on and everything like that at a higher level? And then, because he only made it when he was actually outside of Seattle itself, right? And what his main answer was to me is like, if they know you got a background there, they start judging you based on who you are rather than what product you're actually going with. And he said, when I went out of town, when I went to Atlanta, I went to the South, I started getting so much more love. And it was just, and then all of a sudden when Seattle started seeing, and I think that's the same for like any hometown, right? When the hometown starts seeing you doing things, it's like, yo, look at little Peter back then in the block. Now he's over here just, on commercials and everything. Do you feel that applies? Because I don't know if that's the same on how everybody else thinks in this particular space.
I think it makes sense. I think what that person said makes sense. It's a natural thing. It's a human thing, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're closer, it's just like this. If you're successful, you're going to have some people in your life that see you for what you are and just respect and love you no matter what. You're going to have those other people that feel some type of way. And I think that that's a human condition. It's because maybe they're forced to look at what they haven't. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but we all have insecurities, right? So people are going to go homies first. And how are you mad at that? They're supposed to support your people. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to come out and support you. So when I see people mingling and doing their thing and they're supporting their friends, I'm like, that makes sense. They don't know me. It's not personal. At least I don't think it's personal. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm just another guy out there with clothes. I actually think it's dope when people come out and support their friends. I think more people should do that. It feels good to have your people come through for you.
Absolutely. And to see them, to see the homie period walking around with a shirt that you put together. Yep. You put together. I think that's a big thing. It actually, there's more value there than seeing somebody else that you don't even really know. Although there is a different type of return in seeing something like that. But it's definitely right.
Right.
Well, in this day and age, back then it was like if you were selling shirts, you'd go to the trade shows or to the swaps. Or even, like I said, sell it at the trunk or just talk about it, right? And now in these days, with technology and everything like social media, what still works and what doesn't anymore from back then?
Connecting with the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just
That's still a big thing.
Here's my shirt. I mean, just being out there, having your presence, and listening, listening to people, because they'll tell you what they want. They really will, and they like to be heard. Just like all of us, we like to be heard. So take the time and listen to people, man. Like, people, it's funny because I'll be at shows and we'll talk and stuff, and I'll listen to people. Oh, I kind of want to see this, or I want to do that, and I'll always keep it in my mind. I really hold on to that kind of stuff and listen. I try to listen because I'm creative and I'm going to do me, but it's nice to be able to bring little things. I look at them almost like little gifts to the public in ways, just through a little design tweak, just something, I'll that's fun. So
what makes your, and I'm just looking at your shirt. I'm just looking at the crew neck right there, your sweater. What and this is, you can go ahead and pop your own horn here. What makes your brand different from the next?
Oh,
you don't, there's a lot of humbleness, but then this is business, baby.
No, and I get it, but quality. I mean, most people, when they get a piece of my stuff, they feel it, right? It feels good, and there's a reason. As I do a lot of looking for that kind of stuff. So just, I mean, the quality, the little details, right? Like, I don't know if you can see that.
I can see that.
But just the label,
just the little stitchings in the corner makes it definitely legit.
Yeah, and it's it's not an iron-on deal. It's just the little details, just those kind of things, just touches of color here, real subtle, design. Just, I think that it kind of has its own life, and it speaks for itself when it does that.
And I'll tell you straight up, like, a lot of the stuff that you've been coming out with, and this isn't a paid advertisement, folks. This is a gentleman right in front of me that, that we had chatted before, and he said, hey, let's chop it up. And I was like, yeah, I like what you're doing. Let's go and hop on. There's no money exchanges. There's no quid pro quos or anything like that, other than just sharing the stage here. When I take a look at his stuff, there's a mixture of simplicity, because for me, I like simplicity. I mean, right now I'm doing a collab with Blackheart. Shout out to Blackheart.
Yeah,
I just like,
Blackheart.
Boom. That's what it is.
Dope.
It's simple. I don't need nothing super intricate. But at the same time, with your stuff, it's very like simple, like you just with the box with the NOTH right there. I seen this the spring line, like I said, different colorways, stuff that fits. But at the same time, some of your designs are just very intricate. Like this design and stuff, you can definitely tell that the creativity came out, and also not just like, let's put a design on a shirt, but it's also making it, this is why it's worth it. I'm not going to tell you what I pay for it, but it's my favorite shirt, so I definitely paid, just fine with it. It's definitely one of them on the hanger shirts, and I'm definitely rocking it like once in a while, right? But no, it's like when you put a product out there and you say, and when I ask, it's like, what separates you from the rest of the stuff? This is definitely one of those things, just because number one, it's quality. Number two is the design, and you have this like this bandwidth of simple. If you like intricate, if you like hood, if you like, current, if you like, if you like seasonal, it's all right there, and actually makes a lot of sense. I mess with other products. I got a homeboy over here, the King's Clothing, and his is basically a lot of the stuff that he comes out with is there's message. And when you have it on, you look at it and people see it, there's message, there's preachings in there. And I like that and I also have a lot of his stuff that I give it to my kids. And when they walk around, it's just like, when I see them, it's like the message comes through. But with your stuff, like I said, like you were saying, it's like the quality is definitely there. And he's definitely not lying about that thing. What's next? What's next for Neck of the Hood? What's kind of it's hard to kind of see what's that far forward, especially if you're just trying to figure out what's next in the clothing line. What do you see next for yourself?
Like a brick and mortar really would be filthy to have something that's set up that almost feels like a living room, but not just a place where people can come in, they feel the vibe. And just remember, like when you would go to the homie's house, and I don't know, man, you jump on the Nintendo 64 or
on the sticks.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Playing like NFL blitz or just, I don't know. So a brick and mortar would be filthy. Nice, comfortable. It doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be extravagant, just that represents the brand. That would be a nice next step. You know, that would
be the next step.
That would be a nice.
No, I can see that. And it's also one of those things to where, you know, you're really forecasting logically into something that still stays at home. You know, it's definitely on brand with Neck of the Hood. You know, just you saying that, it's like, I just want somewhere that feels like what it was back then, and that's basically, you know, your influence, and that basically is in the DNA of your product, and just keeping it real with everybody else that's willing to, you know, come out their pockets to spend money with you, because that's definitely something special. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you hopping on with this thing. So let them know your socials, let them know where they can find this stuff, and let them know what's next in the clothing line, just in the immediate future.
It's IG is Neck of the Hood Clothing. North Clothing on Facebook. I think I have a TikTok, but I need to do better on that one. Oh, for real.
They're about to go away anyway, so you good.
But yeah, neckofthehood.com is the website. And, you know, just hang out. Come hang out with me. Come check it out. Tune into the
Nice.
We're always doing something. We're out in the community, involved. We're having fun, and we're building this thing. Look, come on for the ride. It's an amazing thing, and you never know what opportunities come. You never know, we could link up, do a collab.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. Creativity and building, I'm for it. I love it all. And man, to the next person and to those like thinking about doing it, do it, man. You got nothing but time, baby. Let's go.
Like I said in the beginning of the pod, I didn't know you for nothing other than, you know, the product that you put out there and whatever's on the IG. So I'm glad we collaborated here. I'm looking forward to doing some more stuff in the future. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and be very sensitive of your time, and I'm going to go ahead and let you run. I'm going to put all his information up on the screen. I'm pretty sure I've already put it up. Other than that, man, I think I'm good. I think we'll reconnect. Any last words, sir?
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much for your time, bro. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to get to talk, especially, I mean, knowing that you from the same area, bro. You know, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I like where we're at now. It was definitely a lot better than what we were going through back then, right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm going to say peace. Be good. Neck of the Hood Clothing. Check them out.